Well, good morning, everybody. So Amber Nichols is a kindergarten teacher at Eastwood Elementary School in Morgantown, West Virginia. She's taught for 21 years and holds a Bachelor of Science in Communications from Shepherd College and a Master of Arts in Education from West Virginia University. In September, Miss Nichols was selected as the 2023 West Virginia State Teacher of the Year. She is an excellent educator and a true representative of the incredible teachers across the state. And I can attest to having watched her in a video, and those kids were glued. I've never seen anything like it. She is an active member of Eastwood Elementary's leadership, curriculum, and behavior intervention teams, and she mentors future educators. She always strives to set rigorous academic and social emotional goals for each child in her class and prides herself on creating an enriching classroom environment in which all students feel safe, loved, and appreciated. Nichols is a board member of the Education Alliance and also enjoys writing and spending time with her husband, 3 children, and 2 dogs. It is my pleasure to welcome Amber Nichols.
Hello, it is such an honor to be able to speak to you all today. Limitless, together with force we soar. My very first day of teaching kindergarten, the place I know that I was truly meant to be, was on September 11th, 2001. Yes, you heard that correctly. September 11th, 2001. I am a proud military wife. My husband, Aaron, is a United States Naval Academy graduate, and after our wedding in 2000, we were sent to our first duty station, Marine Corps Air Station, Yuma, Arizona. And it was in that beautiful desert town that I began my career in teaching on September 11th, 2001. My mom called me from the East Coast immediately after the first tower was hit. With a 3-hour time difference, Aaron and I were sleeping, but we quickly turned on the TV. I'll never forget the look my husband gave me when he quickly ran out the door to the base, not knowing if he would deploy or return home that evening. Once I made it to school, our principal called all the military spouses to the office. No one talks about it, but there is certainly a ranking with military wives as well. The lieutenant colonel's wife took the lead, and we all followed suit. Our principal said that she didn't know what was going to happen that day, and if we needed to leave to arrange the affairs in our own homes, she would cover us. Now, I have to tell you that the lieutenant colonel's wife could have said, "We're out of here," and I would have walked out the door. But what she did say has stuck with me, and it's become my mantra. She said, "We are here for the kids, and we have each other." It was the ultimate mic drop, and the 7 of us walked right back into our classrooms. We loved on military kiddos, and we comforted families. We poured into our kids, our classrooms, and our school in the most heroic way. We are here for the kids, and we have each other. So because I'm married to a Marine Corps officer who is also an engineer, this kindergarten teacher knows a thing or two about aircrafts and all the intricacies of flight. I may not always understand what he's talking about, but I'm a really good listener. I also try to get all of his engineer talk into kindergarten language. A plane has 4 basic forces at work: lift, weight, thrust, and drag. The positive forces of lift and thrust are what get the airplane off the ground and flying towards the destination. The counter forces of weight and drag are unavoidable, as they have everything to do with the utility of the aircraft itself. We cannot eliminate them. Climbing higher, faster, farther in an airplane requires a careful balance between lift, thrust, weight, and drag. When we think about the students across our great state, and I have to tell you that I firmly believe that West Virginia is the greatest state in the nation, I can't help but thinking of their little lives as airplanes. As an educator, it is my sole responsibility to give them all of the resources and the fuel they need to soar. I get to watch and aid in the building of the plane, placing the equipment just right for takeoff. The sky is not the limit. In fact, there are no limitations on the innovation and exploration of our West Virginia students. No limits. Lift. Lift is innate. It's that internal strength that's inside all of us. It's the natural power of curiosity. I think about the 5-year-olds who enter my classroom every day. Oh, the lift I get to experience. The thirst for knowledge and that distinct evolution of making our society better for the next generation, that's the lift for our students. The inside your belly fire we call grit, that's the lift. Teachers and positive adult influences get to assist in that lift. We get to provide supports that ensure takeoff. Those supports look different for every child, and it's the duty of the big people to know what to do to help with lift. No pressure, right? Teachers across our great state are triaging planes as we speak, assessing what they need to do to help with lift. It's a big task given that most West Virginia classrooms have 25 plus planes with a multitude of needs. But they do it, and they do it well every single day. Working against that lift in students all across our state is weight. I call it the rocks in the backpack. I'm going to spend some time today talking about that weight, those rocks in the backpack. We all have them. I have them. You have them. The students in my classroom in Morgantown have them. Students across the state in every single county have them, and they are heavy. I'm a Head Start kid, a child of poverty, the first in my generation to attend college. No one talks about it, but these beautiful Appalachian mountains hold a silent minority. My first day of teaching was on one of the worst days in American history. I have more than enough reasons to not be standing here today. A master's degree plus 40 hours later, and with a passionate, joyful heart, I stand before you as the 2023 West Virginia Teacher of the Year. And it's that weight, those rocks in the backpack, adversity, that's what inspires me. Because it's my own classroom that saved my life. The magic I create within the 4 walls that house 23 of the best little people in the world saved my life. The safety net of routine and structure, rules and rigor, failure and consequence, oh, how that all saved my life. In addition to being a teacher, I'm also a mama, the proud mama to 3 amazing human beings who are the product of a strong and stable love. My husband and I work very hard to protect our tribe and provide for them, but on one day in September of 2014, our entire world flipped upside down, and we weren't able to protect our people. Our youngest daughter began having a series of seizures on the playground. An ambulance ride to our local hospital led to a diagnosis of epilepsy, but no matter what drug or treatment option we threw at her, after chemo and dialysis, her seizures increased, sometimes up to 200 a day. Our once gifted child was wearing diapers, and we had to reteach her all of her basic skills. And it's that classroom of mine that saved my sanity. You see, I vowed that if I became even an ounce less than what I was before for my students, I would walk away from education. If I gave less effort, became too tired to fulfill my responsibilities, or let my circumstances affect my students, I would leave the career I love so much. Those are some pretty heavy rocks. That's when my in spite of began. In spite of, just 3 words, but they carry so much meaning. No matter the heaviness in your life, you're going to just show up and do. Show up and do in spite of. All the greats do it, right? I mean, I've known a few 5-year-olds in my life who have some pretty big in spite ofs in their backpacks, but they show up and do every single day. Like the little guy who was the product of rape and incest, who wasn't expected to do much academically. His long list of in spite ofs would have allowed him pretty much any academic or social out you could imagine. But you know what? He did it. He showed up, and in spite of all of those rocks in his backpack, he left kindergarten happily reading. Or the little guy who was being raised by a single dad not much older than 20. Mom was a drug addict, parental rights terminated. His last visions of her were her being hauled away in a cop car. Oh, the anger that little guy had in his body. You could see it in his eyes. It went so deep. It took us a full 4 weeks to find our groove, but he dropped his in spite of right at the door when I greeted him there every morning with a hug and an I love you. I'm well aware that the role I have for this guy is much more than Mrs. Nichols. I'm his safe space, his morning hug, and his I love you at the door. He shows up for it, does the work in spite of a myriad of reasons why he shouldn't. That's the magic of our classrooms. It isn't just my little room 117 in the middle of Morgantown, West Virginia. In spite ofs are everywhere. And it's the in spite ofs that are the thrust our little planes need to fly. Thrust is inspiring. Drag? I saved it for last, but it definitely gives the most goosebumps. Lots of thrust is good, but there is an aerodynamic cost to producing thrust. It's called drag. In general, the faster you go, the more drag you create. The simplest way of thinking about drag is as you go faster, there is just more air you have to push out of the way. Drag is the growth we see in our little planes, our big planes, and all of the planes in between. Growth hurts. You aren't growing if you are comfortable. Drag isn't comfortable. Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. The natural ability to move forward with the help of the adults around you, lift. The heaviness of our circumstances, those rocks in the backpack, weight. The in spite ofs, thrust. And that uncomfortable growth, drag. It takes all of these things in perfect balance to make our little people soar. No limits, limitless. Remember that first day of teaching, the day I discovered my mantra, we are here for the kids and we have each other? There is no time such as this for a sense of community in our state. We need each other. Business and community leaders, our West Virginia students need positive adults in their life to ensure proper lift, weight, thrust, and drag. If you would like to volunteer but are unsure of where to start, there are lots of great organizations like the Education Alliance that can help connect you. Our schools need supported. Our teachers need appreciated. Our communities need to foster the environment in which all students can succeed. Lady Bird Johnson said, "Encourage and support our children because children are apt to live up to what you believe of them." We can't limit our West Virginia students. Their flight plans are limitless. Together with force, we soar because we are here for the kids and we have each other. Thank you.